Hey guys, Brian here. Today we're looking at the brand new Rossi R95 chambered in 30-30. One of the things that grabbed me right out of the box was the stain on the wood. It made me think of one of my grandfather's old rifles. It made me think of a vintage rifle right out of the box, which really appealed to me. You know, it's a little different than your modern shiny, flashy and everything. So this really just, I don't know, it struck a chord with me. I really liked it right out of the box. And the second thing was I always check lever action guns for how smooth is that action right out of the box. And guys, I gotta say, that is smooth right out of the box. I was very, very impressed. They did a great job with this. They focused on that and made sure it was gonna run smooth for you. When we got to the range, first thing we did was, is this gonna work? Is it a functionable rifle? You know, is it going to run without any hiccups along the way? And I'd say we ran around 100 rounds through it as hard and as fast as we could. And guys, zero issues whatsoever. It ran like a champ. No failure to feeds, no failure to ejects, no binding on the lever at any point. It was pushing 100 degrees, so we were getting hot and sweaty. Everything just kept working, no problem whatsoever. I was very pleasantly surprised with that. And also the recoil pad did its job. No bruising, no discomfort the entire time. It was very comfortable to shoot. And it worked great. I'm still blown away at how smooth the action is right out of the box. Honestly, I've had $3,000 rifles that literally the action was clunky and gritty and hard to operate. You would almost want to pull the rifle down off your shoulder to actuate the lever and put it back up. And it was cumbersome. It didn't make sense for a rifle that was that expensive to have a rough action. This is going to be a sub 1K rifle and the action's smooth as butter. It works great. Before we get into it much more, I want to bring up something from the past. You young whippersnappers may not remember this, but Rossi had a side eject rifle about a decade ago called the Rio Grande. It was a 20-inch barrel like this one, had a barrel band instead of an end cap. I much prefer an end cap. I just think it looks better. But the rifle was a bit rough out of the box. It wasn't well received, so they quit making it. I'm really glad to see them get back into the side ejection game because I just like side eject rifles better than top eject. One thing is, a top eject rifle oftentimes throws brass on top of your head. It gets annoying when you're shooting. So no issues with that with this. Also, the biggest thing is it allows me to mount an optic over the receiver and get it where I want it. So I was really happy about that. Obviously, it comes with your standard Buckhorn sights like all lever guns do, but having this ability to run a red dot just is a game changer for me. Buckhorn sights work great. My dad was rolling a soda bottle at about 75 to 100 yards nonstop with every shot and did great with them. But a red dot just gives you a little faster target acquisition, a little more accuracy at distance. So obviously I run it when I can. On here, I've got an Aimpoint Acro P2, and guys, I got to say, excellent optic. Just a side note, I'm doing a review on this, but it works extremely well. I've run it on a bunch of different guns, and this one's no different. It runs extremely well on here. Holding it up, I've got a Ranger Point Precision Picatinny rail, and guys, like all, they work great. It's just a pick rail, does its job. It does have the crossbolt safety, like some other brands out there, but does its job. Hey guys, real quick, make sure your rifle's clear. I know this one has been toying with it all morning, getting ready for this, but it works like it should. The trigger has some flop to it like others, but not near as bad, so I do appreciate that. Trigger's around 5.5, 6 pounds, I'd say, but you know, if Ranger Point comes out with a trigger, which I'm sure they will, I will most likely be switching this out just because I like a lighter weight around 3.5 pounds. That's usually max of what I run my triggers at. Most of my precision guns are around 1.5 pounds. That'd be way too light for a lever gun, so 3.5 I think is a good happy medium. As I mentioned, recoil pad does a phenomenal job. It's basic, no frills. You know, it doesn't have any fancy designs and cutouts in it, but it does the job. It makes it comfortable to shoot. And again, the stain on this wood, I absolutely love. I love a vintage rifle, and this gives me that feel right out of the box. When it comes to the checkering, they shied away from your standard checkering and went with more of a wood grain feel. And I was wondering how this would do, especially with our southern heat and humidity. It was pushing 95 to 100 degrees when we were out shooting, and we had no issues holding on to the gun, keeping a good positive grip. So it worked extremely well, and it looks different. You know, it just gives you a smooth but comfortable texture to hold on to. As I mentioned, we just took it out and did a function test. We wanted to see, how is this rifle going to perform? Is it going to run for you if you need it to for a home defense situation or dangerous game, something like that? And it checked all the boxes, guys. It ran great. We did not do accuracy testing yet, but accuracy testing is next on our list. We'll be getting a variety of ammo and taking it out to 100 yards and see just how it performs. So if you have any questions for that video, go ahead and drop them in the comments below, and we'll be sure to address those when we get to that video. Now, before we go any further, let's check out some sexy B-roll. Before we part ways, guys, I want to address a couple of questions I'm sure you guys have, and that's going to be, is Ranger Point going to make parts for this gun? And if so, when will they be available? And the answer is yes, they are, and they already have, because I have them in hand to mount on the gun. So we'll be doing a video on that next week. I'll take you through it step by step like I always do. The only thing that's different is there's a little bit of variation in the tenon up front. We'll address that when we get to it. But other than that, they go right on, takes a few minutes and you're done. So really a very easy install. It'll be a quick video for us, guys. But I really hope you've enjoyed the video on this rifle. We got a lot more coming, like I said. This was just a quick overview and function testing. It works great. I'm really excited to take it out and do some accuracy testing. And again, any questions you have, drop them in the comments below and we'll address those in future videos. We're going to do a lot more with this rifle coming up. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a good one, guys.